There are places on Earth where even nature wears a different face. Millions of years of isolation have allowed life to evolve along paths entirely its own. The familiar rules of the wild world do not fully apply here. The result is a world that is both strange and difficult to predict, and that is where the story of wild Australia begins. 8 small legs glide across damp earth after rain. The Sydney funnel-web spider is drawing its first threads of silk, weaving a door of death right on the ground surface. In Australia, a continent isolated for tens of millions of years, even the smallest creature can carry the most fearsome weapon on the planet. In the funnel web, the male is usually smaller than the female, but its venom is more potent. Within its body is a trachotoxin, a neurotoxin of particular danger. A cricket accidentally touches a signal thread. From the bottom of the funnel, the spider launches upward, fangs driving deep and delivering venom in about 1/10 of a second. The prey quickly becomes paralyzed. That small meal restates a rule of this continent. Size does not determine the level of danger. When the dry season arrives, the damp soil gradually disappears. The male must leave the burrow and cross open ground, exposing itself to countless risks. It can bring down prey with a dose of venom smaller than a single droplet of dew. But in the rainforest of the north, another predator has chosen the complete opposite approach. Below the dry forest, a rock wallaby is leisurely grazing on young leaves beneath sparse canopy. Its wide field of vision makes it believe it is standing in a safe position. In the branches above, a scrub python quietly descends. A body as thick as a thigh wraps around the trunk, moving the heavy mass of muscles silently downward. This is the longest snake in Australia, capable of exceeding 5 meters. It needs no venom. Its coils alone are enough to squeeze the life from prey through sheer muscle. When the patterned head lowers to eye level, the wallaby finally recognizes the danger. But it is already too late. Every direction blocked by tree shadow and the descending snake. The strike unfolds right where the prey felt most safe. The muscular coils close in beneath the canopy, branches shaking violently, then going completely still. The struggle ends quickly as the python begins to swallow its prey. The ground below trembles faintly with the footsteps of a creature weighing nearly 100 kilograms. The earth of Australia's interior cracks under blazing sun. A mob of red kangaroos grazes in the afternoon. Young press close to the mother, a familiar sight in every image of Australia. But across this broad expanse, there is only one shallow pool left. Groups of kangaroos stand around the edge, and access to the water determines the order of the entire mob. 2 males step forward from either side, broad shoulders, muscle taut beneath red fur, thick tails pressed to the ground like pillars supporting the entire body. They rear upright facing each other, both arms raised, then drive into each other. Punches landing on faces ring dry in the hot air, neither side giving ground. When the balance is not yet broken, one shifts its weight onto its tail and drives both hind feet hard into the opponent's belly. Sharp claws tear skin, red dust rising in dense clouds. The one struck staggers backward, struggling to right itself, but the opponent is already pressing in, continuing to drive force, pushing it into a position with no way out. The male falls a third time and just can't rise. It breathes in rapid bursts, then suddenly springs up and backs away from the pool. Defeated, it turns and leads its females away to find another source. The whole group, gradually disappears across the sunlit grassland. The young one hops unsteadily at the rear, all heading along a strip of grass stretching to the horizon, not really knowing whether water lies ahead. The winner remains beside the pool, breathing hard. Its mob moves in, muzzles touching the shallow water. That small pool was held by strikes that the weaker could not have won for themselves. The young one tucks into the mother's pouch, eagerly drinking the life delivered through each mouthful of milk. On the dry grassland, every drop of water today is exchanged for one more day of living. The male red kangaroo, weighing nearly 90 kilograms, fights with both arms and legs. It licks its forearms to cool down, the body carrying no sweat glands the way many other mammals do. Behind the familiar, gentle appearance, the red kangaroo is in fact a survival fighter, ready to drive into combat to claim water for the entire mob. But even the winter is losing water with every breath. The water source drains a little more each day, and when it disappears, this grassland holds no place for anyone. Kangaroos use strength to secure water. But deep in the arid interior, there are creatures that live in an entirely different way, quietly, needing to fight no one for anything. The red desert of Australia's interior, where life seems impossible. Yet, a thorny devil still picks its way slowly across the sand, its body covered in sharp spines. Those spines are not for fighting. Each one carries a tiny groove that channels water. When dew condenses, the water flows along the skin and directly into the mouth. Every early morning, a thin dew settles across the desert. Hundreds of microscopic water droplets simultaneously flow across the spine-covered skin, gathering into an amount sufficient to keep it alive in the arid zone. Its skin shifts colors with the temperature, darkening to absorb heat in the cold, lightening to reflect intense sunlight when the ground burns. Behind its neck is a perfect false head. When attacked, it lowers its real head and presents the decoy from the rear. The predator lunges into a harmless empty space. Spines for collecting water, skin for regulating heat, false head for deception. The desert did not produce a creature. It produced a complete survival mechanism. Deep in the eucalyptus forest, sunlight filters through long, drifting leaves. A koala curls on a high branch, half dozing, waking only long enough to eat. That slowness is the strategy. Eucalyptus leaves are low in nutrition and laced with toxins. So, the koala sleeps most of the day to save energy for its liver working constantly to detoxify. The koala wakes from a long sleep, eyes barely opening. It slowly reaches for the nearest eucalyptus leaf and puts it in its mouth, chewing slowly, a leaf that most mammals avoid entirely. But for the koala, this is a food source without competition. What is toxic to every other species nourishes it year-round, regardless of drought or heavy rain. After a few leaves, it closes its eyes again. A koala's day consists of almost only two states, eating and sleeping with fewer than 1 hour of wakefulness. That very slowness creates an unusual advantage. Needing very little food, very little movement, very few enemies, the koala endures steadily right in the middle of a place where most other species struggle. Australia, an isolated land where every rule is overturned. The smallest carries the most fearsome venom. The gentlest fights the most fiercely. The thorny devil draws water from dew through its spines, while the koala turns toxic leaves into a meal exclusively its own. Each species has found a way out that exists nowhere else. None of this is an exception. It is the outcome of tens of millions of years of separation, where evolution quietly rewrote every definition of the strong and the surviving. And the koala still sleeps on the eucalyptus branch, opening its eyes only when the time comes to put one more leaf in its mouth. From the coastal rainforests to the endless red desert, life in Australia did not choose the easiest path. It chose the most extraordinary solutions in order to survive. And that is precisely what has made Australia one of the most unique evolutionary laboratories on the planet, where nature continues to astonish the world. Sand's surface temperature has exceeded 60 degrees air bent, turning everything distant into mirages flowing blurred on the horizon. A yellow scorpion seeks shade, nestling into a rock crevice to avoid the sun. Outside, under the high temperature, rocks begin cracking from thermal expansion. The heat presses down on the Sonoran like some kind of invisible weight. An owl hides in a tree trunk, avoiding the sun, and under a thorn bush, a jackrabbit presses flat to the ground, dilating its blood vessels and ears to radiate heat. But beneath the scorching sand layer, the ground surface shifts slightly. A horned lizard emerges, dusting the sand away with its transparent eyelids before stepping right into a heat level that, honestly, all other species are avoiding. It's got this osteoderm armor layer, which really helps it adapt to the harsh heat out here. Red ants crawl across its nose and those head spikes while its body isn't quite warm enough yet to react. Suddenly its tongue flicks out extremely fast, rolling up each ant, then swallowing them whole. Out here in the desert, an energy-conserving hunting strategy is way more important than pursuit speed. The horned lizard just walks on, and right at the edge of a cholla bush, another movement appears. A small burrow entrance stirs. Two long whiskers poke out, sensing ground vibrations. The desert mouse stands motionless at the burrow entrance, only its ears continuously rotating, picking up every little sound. After a few seconds of pure vigilance, it finally steps into the dangerous open space. Its long hind legs help it leap far and change direction in an instant. It dashes between mesquite bushes, exposing itself on the bare sand surface. It's searching for seeds, but never, not for a second, losing vigilance about its surrounding environment. For desert rodents, danger usually comes from above. Up there, two golden eagles glide on thermal currents, barely needing to flap their wings. They've been around since the ground started absorbing heat, with vision about 8 times sharper than a human's, plus talons that can create a grip force over 2,800 pounds per square inch. The golden eagle has locked tight on a small brown dot between two bushes, right when it left its burrow. The eagle tilts its wings, adjusting its descent trajectory, calculating the wind and the prey's running direction. The wrong angle means failure and wasted energy out here in the desert. On the ground, the mouse detects a round shadow advancing on the sand and immediately flees, changing direction, lunging toward a rock maze instead of running straight back to its familiar burrow. Eagle talons stab into the sand where the mouse just stood. The eagle watches its prey. The mouse keeps running, carrying the first trace, opening the hunting signal. It rushes into a maze of stacked granite rocks, making it impossible for the eagle to approach. The shade here reduces the heat significantly, but this terrain is also shelter for other predator species.